Check, check. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. We are up and running. Uh, all right. So let's see how this goes. We have quite a few people in chat already. That's nice. I do have Cang Snow here, CEO of Lightspeed Saber League, and let me see here. Cang, you got me? You hear me?
Yes, I do.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see. Turn you up a little bit, maybe.
I don't
Okay.
know if I should be having sound coming through Discord or through the Twitch itself.
I would just stick with the Discord, so that way I don't echo delayed.
All right, cool. I believe Cat's here too.
Oh, Cat's
Yes,
here
hello.
too. Well, hello, Cat. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here if
Thanks
I
for having
can
me.
get your guys' pictures up here. Anyway, Cat is here from Texas because they're actually having a tournament tonight. Correct.
Correct.
All right. And what time is that for you guys?
5 p.m.
So that will be what, 2 hours?
So are you guys? You guys are.
We're in California.
How does time work?
Yeah, we're back on -8 GMT.
It's a 2-hour difference,
Oh,
y'all.
so you're earlier. So you guys are. It would be 3 p.m. for you guys,
There
or
we
would it be
go.
7?
Yes, let's do some math.
Math.
Um, yeah. So, what are you guys going on down there today? Like, what's the plans? How many competitors you guys have?
Looks like we've got 10 people. It's primarily Starbird. We've got one player from Star Temple and one guest from Kansas City who's
Whew,
not in a, as far as I know.
that is
Kansas City.
awesome.
Who's that? Who's that person?
It is Xander View. He's actually a high school friend of mine.
Nice. Reaching out and spreading out. That's what we need. Like, we just need more people down in the south over there.
Yes.
So how many competitors total you have?
I think it's 10.
10. All right, you're gonna have a good tournament down there. Who's All right, I'm just gonna jump right in on it. Who is favorite to win?
It's I mean, Kyle has cleaned up at the last two. So, I mean, he's the guy to beat as usual.
Yeah, yeah. No, Kyle's definitely a great fighter. He mixes it up. He's got some great floats to the head. He gets that a lot. Defensives.
Yeah.
I think your guys' first tournament, he got 4 defensive bonuses in a row.
It was something like that. It was 3 or 4.
Yeah, yeah. Absolute insanity.
Against Matt Torres, I think.
Yes, yeah. And Matt
Yes.
Torres is also a very agile fighter too.
Yes. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it this time, so he won't be there.
Oh yeah, that is unfortunate.
He's running scared.
um,
He's been humiliated. He's he's training. He's on a training journey. You know?
He's
I like
under the waterfall.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. He's getting his last minute training in. I'm sure some of you guys are looking to the future a little bit. Next summer, we have the next National Lightspeed tournament coming up.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of you guys have that going as well. A lot of training happening. Kang, you want to take a little bit of that for a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Andre. Yeah, we have our dates for next year's nationals. It'll be Lightspeed returns, and we're still trying to settle the schedule, but we should have our first national team-based event, maybe possibly 2 of them, in fact. So we are doing some test runs right now for the team-based event. So we have one coming up next week in SoCal, and then we also have one coming up next year in Klamath Falls, Oregon, where they will be doing only a team event actually. So
Oh wow.
gonna be some exciting stuff coming up real soon. But yeah, I'm super excited about the team-based event, and yeah, we're just gonna keep on adding new stuff and keep making it as fun as possible.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Team events have been on the roster for a while of ideas Lightspeed's been wanting to play with. You want to give us like a really, really not in depth, but like semi brief info on that?
Yeah. Well, I have a few ideas of how we're going to do team-based play. The tried and true version is the Olympic style team-based event, which we are going to be doing first, which is where you have a team of 2 to 3, and each member of each team fights every other member of the other team once, in a one-on-one bout. And then you add up your scores, and then at the end, whoever has the highest score is the winning team. We I'm also optioning some other ideas as well. We are looking at a tag team based event. TSL already does a tag team event, but we're gonna do something a little bit different. Obviously, we want to try not to. We want to do something a little bit different than they are. But no, I don't have any details for you on that yet. Exactly, except that I'm leaning towards having a tag team that are using at least one of each weapon type, so that each team has specialists in each weapon. So that's kind of where I want to go with it. So that's all I have for now.
Yeah,
But
that
I
sounds
hope
like a
it'll
lot of
be really,
fun.
yeah. So can we while we still have Kat and hopefully Dakota in a little bit, Andre, can we can we talk about some of these competitors a little bit for Texas?
Oh yeah, let's definitely do that. Honestly, I don't have the list in front of me. So, Kat, who specifically do we have besides Kyle Mason up there?
Okay, so we've got, let me think. Russ is competing this time.
Ooh.
So he has told me he's going to be trying some things.
Oh.
Not sure what that means, but it sounds ominous.
Ominous. That's ominous.
Let me see. Let me grab up the list real quick. Like I said, it's mostly Starbirds. We've got Travis, whose last name I can't remember, from Star Temple.
That's Whitcraft.
There we go. We've got... That is not the tab. I have 10,000 tabs, guys. Bear with.
It's okay. I do too. A lot of it is like
let's
drives
see.
and photos. Like that's.
We do not have Jesse. We have Scott Simmons, who competed very well last time. Brendan, of course.
Brendan, who just earned his D at the last tournament, actually.
Am I still audible?
Yes. Hello. Uh-oh, did I lose everybody?
I can't hear her.
Oh, okay. Kang's still there. That's all that matters. It's not just me. All right, cool.
That's not true.
Um
Okay. Well, I do, until we get her back. I do have the list actually.
Okay.
But I can give my perspective from having met some of them anyway. But looks like Kat didn't mention this, but it looks like she's competing herself actually.
Oh.
So we didn't mention that. There's Travis Whitcraft from Star Temple, Xander View, as you mentioned, Kyle Mason, who is the highest ranked person in the tournament so far. Russ is a D. There's also Elias Kirti, who is a fantastic fencer from Starbird. I definitely feel like he's a strong Russ Mitchell protege right now. Brendan McGill, also skilled fighter, just jumped from U to D at the last tournament, so big accomplishment for him. Troy Kurtzinger, who so far one of the few Ren Saberists right now in Lightspeed. Has yet to earn a grade with it, but I'm very much pushing for him to start climbing the ranks. And also see here Juan Torres. I don't know that person, and Walter Scott Simmons, new person.
She did say Juan was. Oh wait, Juan Torres. Interesting. Okay. No, it was.
Yes, he's new. Sorry, something happened to my internet.
That does happen.
Okay.
It's totally fine.
So, Kat, you didn't mention that you're fencing yourself, actually, yeah, in this
Yes,
one.
I'm
So,
back.
what are your thoughts going into it? Are you approaching this with any particular strategy, or are there any particular people that you're making sure that you're focusing on? What's your thoughts here?
My primary strategy is just to have a good time and not go in flames too early.
That's always good to have. Just going in there like a clear head, like, you know what? Let's get in there, have some fun, and see how that goes. And you know what? It usually turns out pretty well.
It's actually better than clinching up and being really stressed about it, honestly.
Yeah.
So, what do we think about what does it take to take down Kyle Mason, though? I mean, Kyle has he has won multiple Texas tournaments, and he's won the last two now. So
Yeah.
what does it take to take down Kyle Mason?
I feel Kyle's very aggressive, and he expects to be able to overbear
You're breaking up a little bit.
towards him. You can actually force him out of the ring. Oh no! Let me see if I can get closer to the source of all internet.
Okay, so we did hear that he tends to back up too much, as you said, right? So it's possible to ring him out. Is that right?
Yes,
Interesting.
and
So
that happened a couple of times at the last tournament, I believe.
interesting. So that's interesting that he's aggressive, but it's also possible to ring him out. So I'm wondering how that gels. Or what are the conditions where you? Because if you're aggressive, it seems to me like you're moving forward, so you're not backing away. So there must be some condition that causes him to retreat. You know.
Let's see if I can pull up.
Yes.
I know there is a few situations that doesn't look like them, where I personally saw him getting backed in a corner by Brendan specifically,
Yes.
and yeah, it was actually very. Oh, let's see, it's probably an elimination match here. It was very interesting to see him all the way in a corner, because I think he prefers to let his opponent come to him. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's see here. Yeah, so he's actually meeting Brendan in the middle there. Let's see. I know there's yeah. So Brendan takes the ring control, then he's actually out here in the corner, getting pushed back pretty hard. So yeah, there is definitely that potential to just box him in. He is a bit of a cornered dog though, because he will fight his way out, as we can see here. Let's see. Was it the last match? No, that's a. But yeah, so I definitely understand where you're coming from. There is a lot of potential to just ring out Kyle, but he does have really good spatial awareness, so that can also get pretty hard.
Can you move Kat's picture up to a corner, maybe?
I can.
So that we can see the screen better.
Oh yeah, that's my bad. Ha.
Can I answer a question from the chat?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have an exciting answer, actually. So, Secretly Sushi, also a high-ranked competitor, Hikaru, asked what rating this tournament is going to be. And so I just went ahead and looked up the chart here. And it seems to me that this is going to be, they're going into this as a B-level tournament, actually. So,
oh, wow.
Because there's a C and there are 3 Ds and 1 E, so that qualifies as a B tournament. So that means the first place person will earn a B today. Will earn a B today. So that's super exciting.
That's amazing.
Dang, that's gonna be cool. We're getting some B ranks. That would be the second B rank in Texas, correct?
Who's the other one?
Selassie.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Selassie is a B. Right. Amazing.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Kat, you got to get that B today.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the plan.
So did we figure out what makes Kyle back up or what?
I think he tends to he goes forward, but he then retreats very fluidly, and he wants to hit you on his way out. And it could be that he retreats a little further than he goes in.
Interesting. So his spatial awareness, he tends to lose his spatial a little bit.
He'll know he's. It looks like he knows when he's in a corner, but not until he gets to that corner.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, you'll know it.
Yeah.
You'll know it. Yeah.
Thank you for the follow, Dragcoon.
That's Chris Stat there, I think.
Oh, okay. I was like, that name sounds familiar. Yeah. So it looks like, wow, a B ranked tournament for Texas is gonna definitely be a new one for the books. Most of the B ranked tournaments come out of here in SoCal, so that'll be really good to finally have that outside of California.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm more excited now.
That's great. Yeah. Kat, if I could ask you, one standout person on the list right now is Troy Kurtzinger, one of the few Ren Sabers in the league right now. Is Troy still focused on the Ren Saber right now?
He has actually switched gears and is focusing on the one-handed Ray Saber.
Oh, okay.
So that he can really hone his parrying and his spatial awareness.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I am
Now-
kind of sad of that. I do like his run. Here's a small little clip with him in it. He does choose to go primarily two-handed with it, which I feel like is great if, you know, it's a longsword. It's not so great trying to get that maximum reach, since it technically has a shorter blade than your normal Ray class saber.
Hey, Andre, do you have that clip of we had a kill of the week that was his? Do you have that one up?
Ooh,
it was one of his counterattacks.
I believe so. Yeah, let me deep dive these archives. That's the beauty of that Ren Saber is, and the fact that he has both hands on it, he has that extra leverage to be able to just catch a blade and get a beautiful return afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Kat, last time I was in Texas, I did have an opportunity to fence many members of Starbird, so it was a great pleasure for me. And one person that I thought was among your fantastic fencers was Elias Kirti. So I'm glad to see him on the board here. But he hasn't graded up yet. So where do you think he's at in terms of his competition level, and what is, do you think he's gonna make it through today?
I really hope so. He has tended to start really strong and then sort of his performance tapers off as the tournament goes on.
Do you think that's a psychological thing?
It might be nerves. It might be last time he wasn't like feeling well, so I think he did his best, but then the fatigue just got too much.
Yeah, that's too bad. Well, I mean, he is a valued Lightspeed Saber supporter, so we're definitely rooting for him to be able to climb his way up.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of his footage that I've seen, his blade work is absolutely amazing. So going back to what Cang said about like a Russ Mitchell protege, definitely up there. You can see a lot of Russ's fine-tuned blade work in his movement. So I personally, one of my favorite Starbird members to watch.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, so I think that's just why we're just Surprised he hasn't gotten up there yet, but we know that he will. So
Yeah, it's all a matter of time. I did pull up this Troy clip. I hope this is the right one. It's and looking at chat, Jagcoon says no because it's actually versus him. So so here we go. This is from a Lightspeed national tournament in the pools.
So funny.
And it's just an absolutely beautiful return.
Bang.
Here, let's see if I can frame by frame this, because what ends up happening is he quite literally catches this. Oh no, slow-mo always screws up my video program here. Right there, it's like the perfect catch onto the cross guard, and then throws it and right down the chest. Is such a beautiful return. You do not see it too often because we don't have too many Ren Sabers. But that's the pure advantage of the Ren Saber. What I would like to see when Troy does choose to go back to his Ren Saber is a little bit more one-handed, long reach from it.
So slow though. They're so slow.
They are pretty heavy. I don't use mine because mine's significantly heavier than the one he was using for this tournament.
I feel like you're giving up your main advantage when you do that too. I'm not saying it has no use, but at that point you're not really I don't know, maybe people are, but once you're pommeling that thing and you're not really controlling your guard. So it just might catch an opposing blade by luck, but you're not really using it intentionally at that point.
Yeah,
so I feel
that's
like you're very, very open at that point.
All right. Let's see. Did we ever get a hold of Dakota? Get him in here?
You know what? He may be driving over.
Oh, that's possible too. That's possible too.
Yes, it's getting close to time.
Yeah. I mean, if you have to go, we don't have to keep you. You guys are live streaming it yourselves, correct?
Fingers crossed the technology cooperates.
That's always how it goes too. That was my main concern. You could ask Cang before we started this up today. Yeah, so actually KR Fournier in the chat asked the same question I did. Just in case it looks like it will be at the Starbird Saber, right, on Twitch?
Yes.
All right, so I will go ahead and put this in chat, and if it's there, it's there. If it's not, then we all apologize ahead of time. We will eventually get you streaming.
No, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there.
Yes. This is the way.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the way. It's gonna be there. We have faith. We believe.
Excellent. We have to. Otherwise, we just cry.
Yeah, there's always that too. We always have that, little bit of emotion to to put towards our mishaps on technology.
Before Kat, do you think you're gonna be leaving us soon?
Yes, I will have to head out here in a minute.
Okay, so if I can share a story about Kat in the ring.
Oh no.
And Andre, I don't know if you have this, but if you have footage of Kat at Vegas versus Logan de Guzman, that'll be what I'm talking about. But I was on the live stream with Ali, I believe, on the live stream. We were watching the match between Logan and Kat in the pink box. And Logan's a young man. He's only like 15, 16. Very, very fast, though, not ranked yet, but real fast. Definitely someone you have to watch out for. And he's going up against Kat. And, I think he was used to using his speed against other people. Obviously, he was among the younger folks there.
Yeah.
And he comes flying in on Kat. And Kat just kind of casually riposts him. It's almost casual. And it's funny because he comes in for the swing. She blocks him. And it's like he didn't know what to do. There's like a half second where he's just frozen. He had no plan whatsoever. Okay, and Kat just taps him. It's so easy, and we were laughing so hard at the streaming table. And after that, he was a lot more on his game, and they had a really good fight after that. But her counterattack was so solid, so easy, so casual, and I just wanted to share that with everyone.
Which day was that on? Because I think I can pull it up. I think I was reffing that. I was probably reffing that.
Do you know, Kat?
Oh my goodness.
And by the way, do you remember that?
I do. That was my fight with Logan was actually one of my favorite fights that weekend. He was, like you say, he was so fast.
Yeah, he was really fast, and he was really fast. Riposte was faster, but after that, after that, he was a lot more. He was visibly paying a lot more attention, and
Mhm.
after that, after you parried him, he made a much stronger effort to defend himself after his failures. So y'all had a few good back and forths. It was a really great fight. So
Yes.
and you did so, and you're just you just brought that boy up. But you.
I'm gonna try and
So that was
scrub
really
through
fun.
this. That's Asher. Let's see here. I have so much so much of my own footage from that tournament from our live stream, but also I have the lone wolf. Oh, this is the embarrassing one where like I disarmed Cat. So there's that.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. Can we
Did we wait until Cat leaves and then we watch that?
Yeah, let's do that.
There you go. Do that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much footage. There was such a long
Well,
weekend and
well,
2 days of events. So
yeah. Well, Kevin here in the chat says, I remember my match against Cat. I was not prepared. So,
and then Secretly Sushi also says it's definitely hard to be prepared to handle Cat's blade work. And I think that's all a product. That's all a product of your guys' great coach out there. So
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, your guys' blade work out there is definitely really good. I that's what I thoroughly enjoy about watching your guys' tournament footage. Is here we go. Let's see here. And I'm
is
sorry
that Logan
about
right there?
yes.
That might be Logan. Yeah.
I don't know if that was the shot. I mean, no, that's not it. There it is. That's the one.
No.
Are you sure?
No, that's the one right there. Oh, yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
Can you play that again?
Yeah, let me see if I can.
Yeah, I'm a little bit delayed here, I think.
Okay, yeah. The stream will be a little bit delayed. Let's see if we can. It might be the very first exchange of their fight too.
I think it was the very first start, very beginning.
It is going to be super grainy. I apologize for everybody else. The reception we had within the hotel was really bad.
By the way, I love Logan's finger salute. It's so like adorable kind
of. We were actually talking about that last night at practice.
Were you?
Yeah, we were talking about different people's salutes, and we actually really enjoy his because it's so simple, but it gets the job done.
But I don't know why I think it's so cute. Like just
yeah. So wow. Wow, like that. That is such a beautiful. It's oh gosh. See, this is what I'm talking about, like the 1 hour footage here. Let's see if I can fine tune this. Okay.
It's actually funnier than I remember because his feet are together. It's like he was just. It's like he recovered back into a relaxed position. Like he was 110% sure he had scored that. Yeah. He had no plan.
So beautiful, absolutely beautiful catch into just a casual. And yeah, it is such a good, and it wasn't a super fast return. It wasn't super hard. It was just like this beautiful tap to the face, and like it's one of those times where I'm like, I wish we got that extra point for the assault as well.
Yeah. So Kat, I don't know if you remember, but I mean, it's like, did you already see that coming? Like, did he have a tell on it? You just kind of already knew what he was gonna do. Do you remember?
I do not remember. Simply that we drill intensively, parry riposte, watch the blow come in and block it and then hit.
Yeah, simple as.
Let's see if I can find it on the actual. Lightspeed stream. We were kind of all over the place. But you said you watched it on the stream, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, here it is.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to run, but thanks so much for inviting me in.
Sounds good. Thank you for joining us.
Good luck today, Kat. Hope you have a great time. And we'll good luck with the stream, and we'll tune in.
Yeah, cross your fingers.
Okay, we will.
All right, thanks.
All right, good luck to everyone.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck to everyone at Texas. It is technically a 3 team event. I think Kyle's the only one from the original Kyber group out there. But I have some small insider information that there might be a few other members coming back from it. So we'll see how that goes coming into the new year.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, thanks, you guys.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
So what is this?
So
what is the secret info that you got here?
I don't want to give too much away because if it doesn't happen, I don't want to look dumb for saying it out loud.
Damn it! I am president, Andre.
But a very specific iconic member from Texas has relayed to me that he may or may not join back in the next coming months as he's finding more time to be able to do so. T Sedia, thank you so much for the follow. He's our boy in white. That's the only clue I'm going to give. It is super apparent if you've ever been to our websites or social media or anything. So if you are at the first national tournament, you will also know what we're talking about. But yeah, that was just a little bit of insider information. Him plus one other, and then obviously Kyle Mason is still getting back into the scene. So I'm just gonna pull up this clip though real quick because this is the Lightspeed side and the opposite angle where we get to see like Kat's side of the whole exchange.
Footwork and blocking.
Yeah.
It was hard to try to get in there.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like he was prepared for somebody to parry and counterattack at him, So I think he's going to be a lot more alert now that he knows that she's capable of doing that too.
Oh, wait.
Nice pick off from the boss.
Let's see here.
And counterattack at him,
Oh,
Just do a bit of footwork warm up.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to like scrub the footage on like a 3-hour video.
Say a good back.
I guess we'll just let it ride for a little bit.
And not most, half, if not most.
I would just let it play in the background.
Yeah.
I think they're
once we get to it, So.
We saw a lot of the people that are going to be fighting at next week's SoCal Regional Championship were actually at Nationals. So we're going to be going through a lot of footage from that today because that's where most of our high rankers have maintained or even made a name for themselves within the Lightspeed community is at these national meetings where they clearly... Sorry, my dog's being alert. Where we clearly have this high rank, like, hierarchy, I guess I could call it. We see these people show up time after time. Oh, yeah, here we go. So that was the first one. I believe it's kind of a indirect it's just blade calls.
I think it was most likely an indirect hit. It was very, very small.
Let's see if you have a reaction.
To throw it out, which I always approve of. But I think Lerange is definitely going for defense here. Take it, an inverted guard. Oh no! Goodness.
That's a solid reaction there, Cang. That's 100% the perfect reaction for that.
Yep. That's I do admit I tend to lose my head a little bit when we score some 3-pointers, some juicy 3-pointers, but that's how I designed it.
Yeah, those 3-pointers are the make or break of a lot of matches, especially on a much higher tier of fighting. We've seen quite a few people in the past year alone catch up with from behind. They will be 6 or 7 points behind and clear out a whole entire match or round simply because they were landing 3-pointers.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely. A few examples coming to mind. One of your Wolves, William, cleaned up a whole match with nothing but nothing but 3-pointers.
Yeah, that was Liam, which is Haru's younger brother, actually. So we're gonna touch on Hikaru in a little bit because he will be competing in the SoCal regional tournament. But his younger brother Liam was, I believe, the first person to pull something like that off with 3 back-to-back returns against one of his fellow teammates. But you'd think you would see that coming if it's your teammate. But practice is a completely different thing from live competition.
True. So speaking of Hikaru, I mean, I'm ready to talk about the roster whenever you are.
All right, yeah. So far right now we have I believe 7 people on the roster for the SoCal Regional Championships. We have, let's see here. We have Steve Perez. I believe he was originally from Penguin Academy, but I think he recently moved to the LA area. So I don't know if he trains with the Crate Dragons. I
think he was just there last week, actually. But I think he lives in Anaheim now.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So Steve's made a really good presence this past year at 2 separate events. The year of the Tiger tournament in March, where he placed second place in his very first tournament. I think a lot of people were not prepared for his level of fighting. He has some background with heavy grade blades and I believe TSL as well. So he definitely, it took some time for him to adjust. We'll get into that a little bit later. He's currently a C rank for placing 3rd at the national tournament.
That's right.
And you know what? As someone who is in the pools with him, and then my teammate lost against him in the brackets, his movement is very clear, but he has amazing just accuracy, especially on the hands.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony's I'll do a captain of Crate Base and national champion. Says that LA is Steve's home base now. So
should we talk about the stakes here, or should we save that for last?
We'll save that a little bit later.
Okay. All right. We do have serious stakes here.
We do.
For our champion for this tournament.
And then we also have, and then also from Crate Base, we have Jose Ortiz Miranda, who is essentially the second in command, I believe, over at Crate Base, if I'm not mistaken. That's Tony's, second-hand man over there. He has been essentially hard stuck in the D rank for a while, and I honestly believe he has this chance and ability to push through it during this tournament. And I mean, we'll talk about the stakes later, but he trains with the champion, so that's definitely one of the guys to look out for coming into the regional champ. Even though he is currently the one of 2 D rankers in this tournament, which the second one is Allison Fournier out of Oregon, so she'll be coming down here.
Can we talk about Jose real fast?
Oh, I mean, yeah, if you want to talk about Jose.
Yeah, well, I mean, as long as we're going through everyone, yeah. I mean, as you mentioned, Jose's been shooting to upgrade for quite a while now. But yeah, he has stalled at D. And he's a great fighter. I love fencing with him. Very tricky.
Yes.
Can be very difficult to read. One of the few people to take down Rob Chan at the last Irvine tournament, actually.
So he took him down in the pools.
Yeah, he actually beat Rob in the
wow.
pools, which was I think the only loss that Rob took. And Rob is second place in the league right now and poised to reach top if things happen the right way for him. But Jose has enormous potential. But I'm just thinking like, I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what has been holding him out from C. Do you have opinion on that, Andre?
So I do have an opinion. Actually, I might as well roll this video real quick. It's going to be a pretty quick little highlight reel.
Evident.
His aggression is one of his biggest advantages, but it's also one of his biggest cons. He has this ability to just kind of dive in there, but it makes it a very unclear matchup. So on things where you think, oh, maybe he should have got that point, it gets kind of hard when he is a little bit more reckless with his attacks. A little cocky too. Here you go.
Oh, well, yeah, no, everyone knows that. Everyone knows that.
Right. Oh.
I think that's Jose and Steve there, actually.
So Jose has this ability to just be a little overly aggressive. He does have two modes, in my opinion. He's either highly aggressive, and that can push his opponent back, or he is way too passive, and then he falls into that Kyle Mason thing where he gets cornered, and then he tries to be a fighting dog out of that corner. So,
well, I think he corners himself intentionally.
Correct. It's a good bait.
I think he likes it, but maybe he also suffers some detriment on that strategy too.
Yeah, and I think he wants to be in that position to be able to push all the way back, to give himself this like area to push forward consistently. Let's see. Tony Zaldua says, Andre, are you fighting in SoCal Championships? Currently, I am not. I am actually slightly injured as of right now. So I will not be. I also haven't been pushing myself to practice because of the injury that happened at the first foam sword tournament. So my wrist is pretty much screwed right now. But yeah, so I will not be competing in that.
He'll be a big help there, though.
I will be there though. Mostly because Hikaru is showing up. Rico may or may not show up. We just talked to him last night, and if he shows up, I might compete, but left-handed in the team tournament with him. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Anyway, back to where we were at. I just wanted to answer one of those questions. That whole ability to just push out of the corner does help if you know what you're doing. Here's a second thing for Jose. The major pros of Jose is he is actually really good at distance strikes, and I feel like that's a part of working with Tony. And when he's and when I mean distance, I don't just mean ranged attacks. Jose's I don't want to give too many trade secrets for a lot of these fighters away, but Jose's bread and butter is this amazing skyhook he throws out. It lands, it grazes, it hits the hand in so many ways that's actually beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and he does that with a float as well, and does a great job for him to get him out of the way. So, well, I'm rooting for him. I really hope that he's able to earn a C at this event. I think he deserves it. He's been a really loyal member for a long time, and I love the guy, and really hope he pulls it out.
He definitely brings personality to the league, so I think everybody likes having him around, and he definitely allows...
I'm not sure about that.
Like most personalities, you can take them or leave them, but Jose is fun to just have around. So
Jose is a person.
Yeah. Okay, well, we were talking about Jose, who's a D rank, and we do believe he deserves a C rank. So we'll talk about the other D ranker, Ali Fournier out of Basin Academy in Oregon, Klamath Falls, Oregon. I'm gonna lead with this real quick. I'm gonna lead with this video.
Don't.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, you're good.
Well, which video did you? What are we?
Nothing. I said nothing.
Okay. Ali has this very, very unique style, but she can clean it up and have like a more traditional fencing style as well. Oh, he thought it was the birthday bash. You know what? I hate that I did not think about that clip. I might find it now because that was extremely embarrassing for Cang, so I will find it at some point. Yeah, here's just like a small little highlight reel of her stance and her ability to just kind of like mesh into everything she kind of learned at this national tournament, and then leading into her home base tournament, which she actually won second place versus a lot of people, and only lost to Tony Zaldua. The crab stance is just so iconic.
It is now. Yeah. But she has that other one too, where she brings the saber back into her high inside quadrant. There we go. And then she kind of rocks on her front heel. That one's also really, really distinct to her now too.
That was almost a hit from Ali.
And yeah, this great footage from Klamath here against Tony Zaldua. She did take the second round from him.
Yeah, so I think most of this footage is from the second round, and just like this amazing comeback that she had. It went to 3 rounds, and I believe ultimately she actually was neck and neck into the third round as well, and lost to a direct headshot from the champion.
I mean, you're almost there. I mean, as I recall, he cleaned her up pretty solid for the third round. But I could be incorrect. Well, at that point, I mean, look, Tony's the guy. He can turn modes on and off. Like he can take it easy on you, and then the moment he needs to switch into winner mode, like he's just like that. Like I'm not like that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But it's just a real great testament to his skill. But not to say, but I mean, obviously, Ali earned her way up to that position. So there's no doubt about that.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of things with Tony too is that. Well, actually, we will talk about Tony in a little bit because we're gonna save like the best for last here. Those are so Jose and Ali are our 2 D ranks into this tournament, and then we have Sean Holtzman, who is crate base. He's also like the regional a regional director for SoCal. He will also be competing in this tournament, which he did not do last regional tournament. There's a lot of not necessarily stress, but there's a lot of responsibility in doing what he does. So when you do get to see Sean fight in a tournament, it's a lot. It's really interesting, to be honest. His style is amazing. He has weird, funky movements for someone of his size, and he's actually one of my favorite people to fight. I think between me and him, we're even on wins against each other.
I love and hate fighting Sean because he's what I like. I love fighting him to practice, but he's also very frustrating for me because he's so weirdly agile, and he's incredibly accurate on his shots.
Yeah.
He sneaks his blade in weird places, and you just don't expect him to be able to pull that off. And he's a big guy. He's got the height and agility, so that's a real killer combo. And then the main thing I don't like fighting is because he's what I call a bullshit fighter. Nothing he shows you is real, So,
yes, no, 100%. Yeah.
But that's why I consider fighting him really, really good practice.
Yeah, and it really actually helps. Anybody who ever comes across Sean, just do a spar with him and see what we're all talking about, because he is just, his feints might not actually be a feint. Like he's that good at feinting.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and throw this one up, and I actually throw in some like some of these movements he throws is just absolutely crazy.
Those weird side movements and stuff like that.
Yep.
Was that an uppercut?
Yeah.
Look at him juking and jiving. It's like, whoa. Oh my gosh, look at that hit. That's so weird.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he has some of the craziest hits.
Man. On the knee. Get Jeremiah, goodness. What is this one? Who is that? I can't remember his name right now.
So Sean, he's been around for a long time. He definitely adds even more personality to the sport. And even more personality to like the organization as a whole. It's absolutely great. The fact that he fought in a skirt over when you guys went up to Oregon's tournament was a kilt. Sorry, everybody. He fought in a kilt. That was like one of the coolest things ever. He's in chat. Hey, Sean, how's it going? It's great to actually see that he will be fighting in this tournament. So I can't wait to see that for sure.
Yeah, Sean ran the championship last year.
Yes, exactly.
So I've been handling these last few tournaments. So I'm glad that Sean has the opportunity to step in here.
And then we'll head to one of the newer C rankers coming in here is John Mullins.
That's right. From Irvine.
Yes, yeah, one of your guys, like one of your own personal teams guys. He has probably one of the best like tells on his own range. He knows his range really well. There's honestly not too many bad things I can say about him as far as like disadvantages, because he's a pretty balanced fighter for the most part. His only real disadvantage is that he knows it, is he's not the most agile. And so he does kind of go straight down the line, but he is accurate.
I would say that he's evolved a little bit. I think that was true. That was John versus John.
Yeah.
I think that was definitely true at one time, but he's since added other angles to his repertoire actually, so he's become that much better since then.
Yeah, and his accuracy is probably like the best thing about him is he will throw out these like distancing strikes and then land it. He'll get some of the cleanest picks that almost rival Tony Zaldua's hand picks.
That's him versus Earl. Picks off Earl there. And that looks like Andrew Johnson, I think.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
What a nice lighting setup. Who set that up?
Like as an outdoor setup, it's a great setup.
And that's, by the way, that photo on the left, I mean, that's Priscilla Hale from Crate Base. But yeah, she usually looks pretty sharp herself. So.
Right? Yeah. No, her fighting stance is absolutely one of the best. Her ability to level change is really cool. I haven't seen her fight in a while, but I do hope she keeps that in her fighting style as she improves. Her level change is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I really like her. She's a fast learner, and she's one of our better referees, honestly. And unfortunately, she's dealing with some health issues right now, and I think Kieran is as well. But we do wish, I do wish the best for both of them.
Yeah, same. Much love to both of them, because that's definitely hard. So I hope they have a quick recovery and can come back and at least hang out with us. Like let's let's see them again soon.
100%.
Actually, I guess I did put together something. So the thing that John could really improve on, and I know you said he did evolve a little bit, but a lot of these clips are how straight up he kind of stays into the line. They're not all vertical slashes now. Like he has added a few more moves, but as you can tell from these clips, it does put him into this area of he's front and center, and if you can cut off the hand before he gets to you,
which is hard. Cause
it is.
Yeah, he pommels, and his shot is very fast.
But yeah, so he does have. That's the thing, is he's a big dude, but his strikes are very fast and pretty accurate. So having to beat him to the punch is a lot harder than you would think it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then, you know what? Let's go back real quick to Steve before we hit the national champion Tony Zaldua, and then we can talk about the stakes there. So we mentioned before, Steve is now training with Crate Base, and he let's see, and he has had a really good showing in multiple in 2 different tournaments this year. So this is actually his very first match. Some little highlights from his very first match at the Tiger tournament. Year of the Tiger tournament. He had to, once he kind of got the basis of how Lightspeed functions outside of the heavy grades he's so used to fighting, he really turns up his accuracy. Oh geez, can't believe I did that. So you can actually probably not on a lot of other people's screens, but over here is the scoreboard, and he's actually down 0-6 just for simply not understanding the full basis of the sport. And once he kind of dialed in, he was able to just come up and turn it on. And it was this like amazing comeback that you rarely see from someone completely new to the sport. It does happen, but like to watch it happen on the level, and this is actually, I believe, one of John's first tournaments as well. So the evolution from this clip to what we were showing earlier for John is absolutely amazing, as he has definitely refined himself as well. But this right here is so. I really like this clip, and it's mostly the reason why I put this in here, because this is one of those rare pre-returns.
Oh, let's see this.
We'll do it at full speed. And no shade to anybody involved in this. Sorry, Tony. These are really hard to catch, and this is, I believe, when we first started implementing the pre-return rule. So unfortunately it was not called by the refs as a pre-return, but it is one, and it blew my mind because it's one of the more rare point forms out there right now.
Yeah, that was good.
But with that being said, Steve has made way bigger improvements since then. His ability to just come in and hand snipe, along with a little bit unorthodox movements and distance control, allows him to be, I don't know, one of my top picks for the tournament's competition.
Yeah, I think he'll do pretty well. Although I've only seen him in action once or twice, but to me he's fairly straightforward. But I do think that most of the people on the board probably have a better command of distance and movement, at least from what I know of them,
Right.
So it's just going to be a matter of whether their movement is going to outmatch his aggression and be able to stay out of the way. But again, I haven't seen him fence in quite a while, and so if he's evolved past that, then he's almost certainly going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And it's funny you say that, because LA Crate Base is actually one of the more elusive of groups. They have strong showings at all the tournaments they come into, but as far as content that I personally have, which I have a lot of it, I have almost nothing from them, from their practices or anything. So it's even hard for me to gauge how everyone over there is doing. But they're also led by Tony Zaldua, who is our current number one on the ladder, and he's the very first A ranker as of a year ago. At our first regional turnout, he got the first A rank. So you know what? It's really hard to put together a highlight reel of Tony because this man has one of the most accurate shots in the game. He rarely picks. Actually, you know what? A good stat, and I don't know how we would ever be able to do it without a lot of work to just go back through all this stuff, would be like his accuracy based off of full like attacks thrown, because he is extremely accurate, especially with his hand picks.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. But his repertoire is so much more than that too. You know, especially over the years, he's developed a strong bolt. He has a good parry riposte, and he's also tricky. He's more importantly extremely adaptable. You know, very very good at seeing what's going on and adjusting his game accordingly. So with that, I've seen him make many comebacks, even in his championship matches themselves. So yeah, obviously, yeah, extremely accurate fencer, but so much more.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
was a nice shot right there that just played too.
Yeah, so. You know, it's hard to pinpoint everything he does right, because honestly, it's hard to pinpoint everything he does wrong. Like there's not too many things he does incorrectly, which is what makes him such a formidable fighter. He has this massive reach. He has he has the accuracy. He can level change at a blink of an eye, and you go, oh, he's at my knee now. Like, I don't know, or he's at my foot now. I did not see that coming. There's a reason why he's number one. However, he did recently suffer a pretty big loss at the more recent Irvine Championship or Irvine tournament.
Yeah, he was pretty much, let's be honest, he was pretty much cleaned up by Rob Chan, who just came in with a level of aggression and agility that is hard to match. You know, I think that Tony is highly skilled, but he is not that aggressive, I would say. You know, actually, and Rob's quite aggressive. His footwork is aggressive. You know, and that doesn't mean he's like putting pressure on you constantly, but he is constantly moving, and it's that in itself is intimidating because you just aren't sure where they're going to be at any moment. You know?
And you know, we were talking about this last night at practice. Rob Chan has probably one of the deepest lunges.
Oh yeah,
he's not necessarily like, I think Tony's taller than him, right? But and Tony's a pretty lanky guy, which is how he gets some of these really deep headshots, assaults, and yet somehow some of the footage from Rob Chan and Tony is like, you just see him take this deep lunge in, and he's there at like the top of the thigh or the chest, and it's like, how did you get here so fast? How did you like you teleported? You had to have, because you were out of my Saber reach and now you're not, and it's so fast. With that being said, Rob does kind of throw himself out there. So if he does not get you for whatever reason, he's pretty accurate on that with his reach. If he does not get you, he's absolutely open. So so that will be something to look forward to. Rob is not competing in the regional, correct? Or any kind of interest?
As I'm told, December is a very, very busy month for him.
I think that's what he said last year too. So I think, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
It's a hard one for him to get into. But interesting enough, if I can bring this up at this point, but it's funny because Rob does not need to be at this tournament to potentially take the number one position from Tony for the first time since 2019, I think. Because if Tony does not take first place in this tournament, Not only
Drop the
will
bomb. Drop the bomb.
not
Drop the bomb.
not only will he drop to a B, okay, a different A will come in, and Rob will become the league champion, and without even having to participate. Amazingly.
Wow.
So it's big stakes here. Tony's, he's got to be feeling the pressure here. Everyone's gonna be gunning for this, but it's a lot of things. Tony's gonna drop. Rob will ascend. And if Tony loses, that means necessarily someone else will earn an A. So it's going to be a monumental. It's going to be monumental no matter what. So it's going to be quite amazing.
Yeah, no, that is crazy. Like, just to even think about. Do we have a current rank or like rating for this tournament?
Yeah, it's an A. It's definitely an A tournament.
It is 100% as it is right now, an A tournament. Perfect.
Yep, it is an A tournament. So yeah, it's if Tony if Tony re-earns his A, that's great. The status quo will be maintained. But if he doesn't make it, it's going to be a huge shift. It's going to be a big shift. We'll have our third A in the league, and who's that going to be? That's going to be amazing,
Right. Yeah, and you know what though, the whole point of this regional tournament for SoCal is that we typically have a lot of lower ranked and like open tournaments that do not rise to this level of competition. So this is like the one time a year, and hopefully we can do this more than once a year for this higher advanced ranked tournament, because we are starting to see a lot more D's and C's pop up. Simply because Tony shows up. Tony shows up to these tournaments and increases that like level of competition, and then everybody's fighting for their shot at this C and sometimes potentially a B rank. I think one of the Irvine tournaments, right? It was Jeremiah was there and Tony was there, and I think it was Jeremiah versus Tony in the finals, and if he beat Tony then he would have gotten an A, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah,
and that was a pretty intense match as well. Like, there was a lot to happen.
Yeah, and in fact, Jeremiah had the lead for a while.
Yes,
but
yeah.
Like I said, Tony, when he goes and he just turns the dial on. It's winter mode now. It's winter mode, so he just goes right into winter mode.
Yeah, and he will get it without you even knowing. Like, I think one of my favorite clips is at the Oregon tournament where him and Allie are facing off in the third round, and he just gets a quick head pick, and she's just like, "Wow, I didn't like." You can just see it in her body, like her body posture. She's just like, "Oh, yep, that was over that fast."
So, do we have? Are we willing to make any predictions here?
Oh my gosh, some predictions.
We all have. I know you and I both have political implications of doing that at this point, but if you're willing to say anything, I'd be interested to hear.
Like, I have my second in command in chat right now.
I know,
right? Let's see. We have a lot of people in chat right now. Who we got in chat here? We got Sean's in there. Hikaru's in there. We got quite a lot of people. So you know what? I'll stand on a hill here. If we remove Tony from the equation, just temporarily, my top three will be, as it stands right now, since we only have 7 competitors signed up. Hey guys, it's a week away. Let's sign up.
By the way, I'm glad you mentioned that, but if I can drop this in real fast.
Oh yeah.
Wednesday will be the last day to sign up. Okay, so I think that's 14th or something.
Yeah.
So that we'll be closing it on we'll be closing it after Wednesday. So don't get caught out.
I cannot remember my commands for my stream, so let's.
I think Hikaru wants to hop in. I think he wants to talk some smack.
He wants to. Oh shoot. Okay, hold on.
Tony might be in here too.
No,
Tony might be in here too. So
you know what? Hey, well, let's do our predictions first, and then we can get a couple of people in here if they wanna chat it up. Yeah. So we have. Oh, I did that wrong. Right? It's tournaments, right? Speed.
Tournaments, yeah.
SaberLeague.com.
No, it's no. It's lightspeedsaber.com. There's no.
Oh, geez, that's it still sent me to the webpage actually.
Really?
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't remember buying that domain.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, there you
go. But yeah, so if we remove Tony from the equation, my top three are oh my gosh, why did I just lose this? My top three are in no particular order. Jose, Steve, and Hikaru. Those are my top three. Then we add Tony in there, and anything can happen. To be honest, like anything can happen.
Yeah. I would. I think Rue's definitely in top three. I'll honestly, among this crowd here, I would actually put Sean in there. And the rest one's tough. The rest is tough for me. Steve, very aggressive, fencer, accurate, fast. But I did see what it's like when he's going up against someone who has more experience in Lightspeed Saber.
Versus Tony was definitely almost a shutout, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, this is another testament to Tony, but when I would say that Steve Perez and Slossie are fairly similar, in their
that's true.
Approach. And these were top three. These were top 3/top 4. And as formidable as Steve Perez and Slossie were through pools and the brackets, they looked like beginners against Tony. Honestly, no offense to them, but when you go up against someone like that, you don't even look like you belong there. Sometimes, when the skill level is that much higher.
But now he trains with Tony.
Yeah, I guess. So I don't know.
But no, you make very, very good points. Those are all very reasonable, and I totally understand where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give you my top 4.
Okay.
No, wait. What did I say? I said Rue. I said Sean. Yeah. Okay. The rest are hard for me to call. I'm not sure I can call that.
Yeah, it is a little tough because there is a lot of play around area. With Allie, we have this. She's young. She's new. She did make waves.
She's hungry.
She's definitely hungry. She has a very unique style. So if she can pull off some solid defense, which we have seen her do, she can hang in there. John Mullins, if he turns it up a little bit more than he has been, keeps a little bit better angles, and can protect his hand, he should be able to stick in there pretty hard too. If Jose sticks to being slightly more cautious than he usually is, he won't get caught out. And I think that'll be super important for him. If he doesn't get caught out constantly, or if he doesn't race people, because that seems to be one of his things too, is to blade hold and force like indirects or force like a bad defense in general. If he can just get some clean strikes in there, and then also protect himself, he'll hang in there. Gosh, Sean, it's hard to even say anything about Sean, really, because he is an absolute wild card with his wild card like style. Because yeah, like I've seen him get cleaned up pretty well, but I've also seen him clean up really well too. So it's all a matter on if these other competitors can figure out how to catch him, just to catch him. Like that's really the thing. Hikaru, if he does utilize a lot of his endurance and his speed, which can make him a little foolhardy. The other thing that makes him a little foolhardy is he is actually really good at rallying. So if he gets caught out trying to hard defend a little too much, he's just going to get picked off. So if he can push past that and maybe turn up a little bit more aggression, he can push through. And then Steve is another just general wild card because we have rarely seen him fight. So he is aggressive, and you did kind of hit it when you said that him and Selassie have very similar styles, although they both portray it in very different ways. They are very they're kind of rigid, but they are quick. They do not go for very long range per se, but they try to stylize their picks. So if he can actually land his accurate hand shots, which we've seen him do against, mind you, less talent, and no offense to anybody in general, just like less talented people, he can do it no problem. And you know what, he did beat me in the pools. Like that's one of the things. I mean, I guess I could make up excuses and be like I wasn't wearing proper footwear, but like but he is quick and he is accurate. So if he can keep that up, he'll be able to maintain. But then we go back to Tony and it's like, okay, Tony can pull out the stops, and we've seen him change up his style based off who he fights. His change up versus Selassie alone was probably one of the craziest things I've seen him do, because you could tell he started kind of casual into like, oh, this is just my typical fight. I have 3 rounds to handle it. And then once he realized that Selassie was going to pressure him constantly, especially so much as they were starting at the corners of the ring and then meeting in the middle, and Selassie just takes up space to try and force like a cornering. Tony said, no, I'm going to push back even harder, and then put him on the back foot. And it made this really cool dynamic of, like it's almost like one of those like, I'm going to dominate this ring. Like that's like, I'm going to play your game with your rules, but still utilize my my strategy. And like, and a lot of people just are not prepared for Tony's level of competition.
That's true.
Uh-oh, are we losing you? I can barely hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
I was just saying, yeah, I agree with all of that, and yeah, I'm, we definitely I hope we can talk about the women's roster and the team rosters too.
Oh yeah, I mean we can do that. I have one more question though before we move into those. Who would you like to see show up that is not on this roster yet?
Oh, gee, that one's easy for me.
Are you gonna say me?
Well, I mean, yes, but also, I mean, yes, but we've
Yeah.
I was prepared for that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would love to see Tom DeMartino here.
Oh yes, yeah.
To defend his B. I mean, he's gonna lose it if he doesn't compete. But also, more importantly, Jeremiah. I really would love to see Jeremiah on this list because I think he really has potential to make it up there. And me and Rob have talked many times, and we know that he has potential to take down Rob too.
I completely agree.
Skill. Yeah, he has the skill he has the skill and strategy that he learned from us in the academy. but he's also got great reaction time and speed, and he can pair or push off. He can push off. He needs more practice, and but yeah, two great members from Irvine, and I would love to see both of them in here as well, but I don't think we're gonna have them this time.
Yeah, so like that's my number one right there is Jeremiah. I would have loved to see him show up. I completely agree with everything he said. He has the potential. He probably has one of the best defenses in Southern California. And he's accurate. He has deep lunging, just like Rob Chan. He's just, I mean, when you're young, I remember when I can move like that. But he definitely has the potential to stay up on. I mean, heck, in just last year alone, the 2021 season, he went straight to B rank. So there was a time before the pandemic where he was this up and coming cadet, and all of a sudden we come back out of the pandemic in our very first tournament and he pretty much swept all his fights.
Oh yeah. I knew he was going to do well, but yeah, I wasn't too surprised, but it was still a wonderful thing.
And you know what? Let me see if I can pull up a Jeremiah clip here. I'm pretty sure I have a few of them. I should. I don't know why I wouldn't. Like he's.
While you do that, I'll also mention another long time Lightspeed Saber veteran and high ranker is Jamar Johnson. I think Jamar recently bought a home out in Lake Elsinore-ish, I think. So he hasn't been around a whole lot, but also another excellent competitor who I would love to see here too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like he always, I don't think I've ever beat him. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't think I actually lost. I actually lost to him at the last regionals for I think 4th place. So, yeah, that's definitely another person that I would love to see out here. But life gets ahead of you sometimes, so that's totally fine. We're okay with that. Let's see. I for the life of me, I swear I would have a lot of Jeremiah clips, and I mean, here's like one from practice. Is this? No, I think this is a Brandon clip.
That is Jeremiah, though.
Yeah, that is Jeremiah. And like I said, this is practice. But his ability to rally really well. And yeah, how do I not have like the rally with him and Rue during Summer Slash was absolutely amazing. I think again at one of our tournaments as well. Some of the best rallies in the sport. So, oh wait, here we go. What's this? Oh, this is from back in the day. This is pre-pandemic.
Oh, this is with Corbin. Yeah. That's the old reffing hand signal. But yeah.
Yep. And it's funny to see this really old clip of him and go, oh yeah, look at that beautiful parry repost. But then come back to today and you're like, hey, he can still pull that off. Like and he's gotten way better at it too. So you're like, oh well, okay, this makes sense.
No, he was like 9 years old. Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Besides the advanced roster, we have a women's tournament as well.
Yeah. And I'm still hoping to get a few more. I'm expecting one more. I believe Shar Carter has a teammate coming in from NoHo Saber.
Perfect.
And I'm still hoping that Phoebe will do it, but I don't know if she will.
Wait, so Phoebe's your partner for?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so this might be
team
breaking news for some of you out there. Cang will be competing in the team tournament.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So, you know what? If you haven't made a team yet and you want to fight Cang, make a team. Fight Cang.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, you can't. I mean, two of the teams still do not have their partners in, but Steve Perez, representing Muerte Wing, one of the 6 squads that are registered right now. He's in theory teaming up with Jose, but he hasn't confirmed that yet. And Char Carter has formed NoHo Ninja Wing, and so we're waiting for her teammate to sign in as well. So I believe she'll be doing the women's as well. So we should have 5. If we're lucky, we'll get 6. But
Yeah, so going back to the females division here, we have a very, very interesting roster so far. Obviously, we're only at 4, and we will potentially have a 5th. And maybe a 6th. Who knows? So Ali Fournier is going to be competing in that as well, along with Trish and Char out of NoHo and Dinah. So Trish and Dinah out of Irvine. So, I personally would love to have one of our ladies compete, but unfortunately, the ones that used to be pretty active have either gone back to school or got busy on practice nights, so we haven't seen them in quite some time. But we do have one who will be freed up starting in February after her schooling stuff ends, and she's pretty stoked to get back into it. She even got a brand new lightsaber and everything, so she's already preparing herself. So hopefully we'll be able to see her in the future at a Lone Wolf. But so we do have Char Carter. Okay, it's very unfortunate because I don't have any. I have one fight footage of Char. She comes in hard and fast, and is actually fairly accurate with her attacks. I don't know too much about NoHo Sabers. Do you have any information on them?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they're natively a mixed martial arts gym, but they also have an Eskrima program there. And I think they opened up their lightsaber program in tandem, to accompany the Eskrima program. And I think she participates in both of those events. So I think natively she's more like a stick fighter. And she reminds me very much of Kevin Criswell from TSL,
Yeah.
who joined us for a tournament. Good technique, good fighting fundamentals, distance footwork, stuff like that. But they're so used to working with a heavier weapon that they tend to do these big windups on their attacks,
Yes.
And it's a major, as good as they are, as skilled as they are, that is something they have to train themselves out of in Lightspeed Saber, because they're so wide open whenever they're telegraphing these big movements, So for what little I saw, she looked very, very similar to that. And so I think that's going to be her major sticking point to be able to fight over, to fight through. But I think I did mention it to her, and so I'm sure that she's done some training, and that she'll have improved on that.
And we have seen similar, I guess we can call them issues, just fundamental issues really, with other stick fighters that we have. It's simply because of their training, and it's one of those things where you have to turn it down slightly. For a lot of people who don't know, stick fighting, particularly Eskrima, Arnis, Kali, whatever you want to call it, is it's the national sport of the Philippines, and it's actually really big down here in Southern California. So it's a very hard and fast attacks, and multiple attacks as well. I don't know all the rules personally, but I believe someone mentioned there's a 3-hit rule too, where you literally have to just pommel your opponent. But yeah, we have Erwin Famor, who is, I think he's also an instructor for Eskrima or Kali, or one of the things.
I think he does some, yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Walter Symbol is also a practitioner, if I remember correctly. And then we had a couple people show up for the soft sword event, which is another thing that Lightspeed does. It's very new. It's really fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. But it's a much more aggressive weapons martial art. So when these people are new to Lightspeed Sabers and they come in with that as a background, it does take some time for them to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, but but more importantly, it does represent a major weakness in one's attack because you're so open to interruption.
Yes.
So so I don't think of it as toning down necessarily as much as telegraphing, really.
I mean, yeah, that works too. Yeah. There you go. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on we've talked about Ali at this point. I think she's definitely going to be a very strong contender for this women's roster. But what are your thoughts on Dinah and Patricia? At this point, Dinah's still fairly new, but she's had a few tournaments under her belt and did surprisingly well at the Irvine event last time. What are your thoughts on them going into this one?
So Dinah is not just fairly new, but she's also a new in D rank. So right. I mean, if she really wanted to, she could also do the open mixed tournament or the advanced mixed tournament. But I feel like there has been so many strides in Dinah's overall footwork and blade work over the past just months alone. We got to see, when was her first tournament? I want to say it was Irvine.
I'm not sure. It might have been an Irvine tournament, and then she went down to Escondido fairly short.
Yeah, so she did make a couple showings at our tournaments. There's definitely this, I'm a newbie and I am just getting the hang of how everything works here. Footwork and just learning to tell it, like read your opponent and stuff. And then we saw her as recently as a month or two ago now here in Escondido. So we saw, I think she picked up 2 wins off of opponents that are a little bit more her veteran in the combat. So it was I think she beat I don't have the paper.
I think she beat
William.
I think she beat William Alonso.
I'll pull out my coach clipboard here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she definitely got William by my recollection, and I think in general she's been a little bit timid, but we've been working on openings over at our practices, and she's been doing the bolt a lot lately, honestly, and she's been getting much better at it actually. So I think that's going to be a big game changer for her. The bolt is still actually not that common, actually.
No, there's only a few people that do it. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Erwin does it pretty often.
Earl does it all the time now.
Yeah, he does it all the time, and it actually pays off quite a lot.
Yeah.
Of times.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot more of it, and frankly, in my opinion, if you want to reach the top, like I think you have to have it in your. I don't think. It's so common now at the top level that I don't think you can survive if you don't know how to use it.
Yeah, we're kind of losing you a little bit. But yeah, I totally agree. If you're not using it on the advanced forms, at least once, like at least once in a match, you're kind of you think too highly of yourself. No, I'm just kidding. You're definitely lowering your own personal move pool to not utilize it. It is not the easiest of maneuvers to use. Show Dinah's foot shot against Troy in Vegas. Oh, shoot. You know what? Let me see. I think I have that clipped. Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a but yeah, so Dinah has definitely improved, and I feel like this will be a very good a very good point for her to rise up from her current, like, I mean, she's a D rank, so she's pretty up there, but like from her current like overall standing, this will be a good way for her to get in there and like just straight up make a name for herself.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a high rank. Well, it's a C rank at best. I'm not sure yet. I'm actually not sure what this rating is going to be for the women's. But yeah, it's definitely a good opportunity. What do you think about among these ladies here? Patricia is probably is among the most reputed. She's been strongly known as one of the league ladies' best defenders.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
In fact, her nickname Castle comes from that very fact. Question is it going to be enough here? Do you as you said, Shark Carter's fairly straightforward. Allison's got a high level of aggression as well. Do you think that she's going to be able to hold these people off?
It is so hard to have that, like, that reputation of being such an amazing defender, because then people are super cautious about how they come in onto your own defense, because people go, oh shoot, if I get parry reposted, I'm losing 3 points. Like, that's like, and that's a big way to just drop off the scoreboard, but her defense has proven time and time again that she can hang really well in open tournaments. She can hang really well against the women's division, and overall, like, she just has this ability to come back or take a lead and just hold on to it because of her defense abilities. Yeah.
She's never fenced Char, so I'm really curious how that goes. I feel like it's funny that you mentioned that, because I mean, I think Char's style is basically set up for Patricia to defend against. The big swings, it's practically meant for her to parry that. But at the same time, I don't think Char knows anything about Patricia's reputation, so it may mean absolutely nothing to her. So
yeah, that's very fair.
Her big adversary here is probably going to be Allison. Allison cleaned her up pretty solidly in Vegas, actually.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that, and if there's lessons learned. I mean, obviously Patricia's going to kick her butt, but
no bias, right? No bias.
but maybe not. So
yeah, well, we know who's not roughing the women's division, that's for sure.
I don't even know who this Patricia is.
Yeah,
Patricia Bowler. I don't know.
Yeah, and we're going back to Char. From what I have seen, she has a really high potential within this women's roster to also clean up. If there's any, like, I've seen a few of NoHo's clips on their Instagram, and they do use heavy grades. That's weight training to me. That's
absolutely,
that's weight training. And like, if you can swing around the heavy sabers with fair ease, you will be able to also swing around the Lightspeed saber with greater ease. So I'm hoping we get like a good couple of more ladies back in here for this women's division, because women's division is always one of my favorite things to watch, because it's, I mean, we're missing Joe, right? We're missing Joe. That's
Yeah.
that's who we all wish was showing up, but you know, it's always the holiday times, so but Joe has 100% shown up every single time and then just cleared house. So this would be a good time for the women's division.
Well, if I can jump in real fast there, though. I mean, things could have been different if Patricia and Joe were facing off in the finals in Vegas, because
I do agree.
Those two are at a standstill when they're fighting. That's like a castle fighting a fortress.
Yeah.
You know.
They are both actually. It's like it's that whole unstoppable force meets an unmovable object thing, you know?
No, dude, it's not even that. No, it's not even that. It's two unstoppable. It's two immovable objects. just kind of. They're sort of patty caking and looking for the moment that they're gonna sock each other, but it never comes.
We did see that with Joe versus Russ Mitchell.
Oh my goodness, yes.
That was it. I can't even say it was an upset, but I can't say it was like a fun match. Like it was what, 2 minutes?
Wait. So for those, can you describe this for those who weren't there, because we don't have video playing, so I'm not sure everyone necessarily knows what's going on.
Let me I might actually have it.
Okay. All right, so you look for that. But here's a bit of history. If you're gonna look for that, here's a bit of history for everyone. Okay, so way back at our first nationals in 2018 in Vegas. Okay, I'm not sure we had a timer at that time. I don't think we kept time for matches.
I don't think we did.
And so that was Jamar refereeing Joe versus Patricia, and they were just stalling. Okay, they were not. They were both trying to look for some moment to go, and it just wasn't happening. You know, and I think, as I recall, Jamar said something like do something, I'm getting bored, or something like that. And then
I do. Yes.
That's when they started duking it out for some reason, you know. But ever since then, though, we started keeping time and making sure that things are moving along at a decent pace, you know.
I actually remember him shouting that. I do remember him shouting that. That was hilarious.
Because Patricia is still mad about it. She's still mad about it.
Oh man, I cannot find the footage from this past year's nationals. I would have to scrub through like 3 hours of thing. I don't want to do that. But yeah, the same thing happened. This past national tournament was it was, I believe, one of the rounds in the bracket fights, eliminations.
It was both.
It was both. Okay, see,
they stalled in the pool and the bracket.
Yeah, so in the bracket we had the clock set for 2 minutes, and we had Russ Mitchell versus Joanna, and it was them just kind of feeling each other out to see who's going to come in and attack first. But they are both fairly defensive fighters, so when there was a movement, there was usually some sort of blade defense or a sidestep or something. I think the match ended up going to sudden death overtime at 2-2.
Amazing.
So 2 minutes and only 4 rounds, and 4 points total, and I think that was 3 different engagements. Like, it wasn't even like 2 clean strikes. Like, it was 2 like miss parries and a clean strike. And then it ended with, I think sudden death was about 20 seconds long total before Joanna just went in to clear it out. Like, it
edged him out.
Yeah, that was a long match.
And if I may mention this, Andre, and for everyone else, after the tournament, you know, we're going through footage, and Andre is messaging me, and he's like, "Cang, look at this. Yeah. This cannot happen again." Okay, because I didn't really know about it until later, and then I saw how this long attrition battle went down, and Andre's like, "Yo, this can't happen again." Okay, this we need to be calling stalling and stuff like that. I'm like, "Yes, you're right." You know, so.
Okay, so actually, I do have the whole fight.
Okay, well, we don't need that.
Complete with stalling timers.
Andre, if you just show a JPEG, it'll be close enough.
Yeah. Let's see. I could just like here's just like a brief clip here.
At least we got a point for due to a concession. You know, it's funny because they're dancing around. Like Russ is never he's moving, he's
Right.
doing something.
Right.
But they're just not making any committed movements.
And it looks like we started at like 2:15 or something for time. But I think these rounds were to 14 points or 12 points. The 12 points.
Yeah. Look at that. Russ trying to draw something from her.
Yeah, so like this was the whole match essentially, and so that was fun, and yeah, I guess if we had Trish versus Joanna in the women's finals at Nationals, that would have been probably a little bit more of the same thing.
Joe, is that you? Joanna P. Lewis, is that you?
Oh, that makes sense. Yep. There she is.
Women's champion in the chat, y'all.
Not stalling. No. Well, when I talked to Troy, who was head reffing that match, he's like, well, there was a lot going on. It was like a chess battle. And I was like, okay. I mean, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. No, okay. Okay. Look, she is right. They were doing things. It's just no one was committing to anything.
Yeah.
So, which I still think needs to be called for stalling, but even if it's not exactly stalling, I mean, look, if people don't know, okay, in Olympic fencing, sometime in the early 2000s, there was an épée match where people were just not doing anything. Okay. And when the refs tried to force them to do something, they both just started dicking around, and so that if you look it up on YouTube, it's called like the épée match that changed fencing forever or something like that. And that's when they started enforcing priority in Olympic fencing, in Olympic épée, which normally doesn't have priority. They started enforcing, stalling rules, stuff like that. So yeah, it's even if you're doing something, we kind of know it's still it's inactivity. Nothing's happening. So that's just the real issue there.
Right. Yeah, and it's like I personally hate having to force people to to fight, but I started watching a couple of MMA matches that started actually enforcing that too. If you're too busy retreating too much and there's no actual action, they actually card you. For just attempting as much as possible to not take damage, I guess. So
right.
There's one thing of like being in the fray and defending yourself, and another thing to just avoiding the whole situation. So, but yeah.
So we've got Joe in the chat here. So Joe, are you coming to this thing or what?
That would, like, if she shows up though, it's going to be a great match. Like, it's going to be a good roster.
It's going to be big. So. Well, anyway, we can hopefully she'll get back to us there.
She says she can't. That's sad face. Okay, well, we love you anyway, so we wish we wish that you were here. You were going to be here, but we understand. We totally understand. Joe, for those that don't know, is out in Las Vegas, correct? So, if you're out there, she's looking for sparring partners.
Yeah. Although I am learning that I won't schedule the championship for. Well, I don't know. I thought Christmas was. Christmas is a whole week later, so I thought I had plenty of time. Maybe not. So.
I mean, I'm with you on that too. I would figure that's a decent amount of time, but like maybe we just do it earlier next year.
Yeah. Well,
like earlier in the month, like we could do it the first week of December or something.
Yeah, I think it's because I was still optioning at the time that I announced it that there might be something in November, so I wanted to make sure there was room. So, I think it's because we were still optioning that beach event, you know.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's right. The beach
yeah,
event,
and so it was
which was
only going to be.
postponed. Everyone in Southern California, there's gonna be like a beach tournament, okay? Like on the
Oh
beach.
yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
take a quick time out here from the SoCal regional stuff. Go ahead and give us a little bit of what's happening with the beach tournament.
Oh yeah, so I think it's scheduled for May. Let me pull up the site real fast. I think we do have Rue is in here. Maybe I'm trying to pull up our yes, the Lightspeed Beach Tournament Extravaganza will be in Santa Monica on May 27th.
Oh,
So that is going to be it's going to be oh there it is. Yeah. So we will be enforcing color requirements. So you will not be allowed to wear a solid black because you're only going to be illuminated from the ring lights. And so we want to make sure it's a fair tournament that you can see everything, and we want you to look your best. So everyone's going to look amazing out there as long as they're dressed appropriately. And it looks the footage and photos look amazing as long as everyone plays ball, you know, and it's going to be really cool. So
all
just
right, let's
imagine.
go. Bikinis and board shorts, everyone.
Yo, let's go.
Well, technically we're not saying that's not legal, so um, yeah, it's going to be really awesome. Imagine going out there and there's like 3 rows of lit rings out there, like just like the old days. It's gonna be really cool.
And you know I personally do not like sand, so you know what though, these pictures, let me see if I can pull those up. These pictures that you guys took were absolutely amazing. A lot of long exposure stuff looked really good. So it was just something that came up, and well, actually, here's just like some minor footage with Dinah, like on the beach. It's a little grainy because of, you know, the darkness, but this is essentially what it's going to look like. So like this is why you need to have like no dark colors as much as possible, because yeah, you're literally only illuminated by the ring light and the and the lightsabers. I think it's also going to be really interesting because you're going to have to fight as clean as possible because it's going to be hard for the refs to be able to differentiate super close calls with the lighting.
Right, yeah, absolutely right. That's gonna go down, and then we'll have nationals the month after that. So it's gonna be a hot summer.
So here's some photos we can go through here.
Do you have the clip of me with John and?
You know, I don't see it. I probably do somewhere.
All right, that's cool.
But like these just
look
look
at that.
cool.
That's how it look. You know, go look at the one of Jose and William from back. You know, with the sand. You know.
Oh, this one right here.
No. Go back a few. Yeah, like look at that. You know, it looks fantastic. You know, that's just lighting from. That's just like one extra light from a flashlight or something like that. I mean, it looks awesome.
Yeah, so everybody in SoCal, or if you're nearby or going to be in the area, look forward to that in May. The weather's going to be beautiful. It is, you know, Santa Monica. So it will. Oh, this one's really cool though. Like with this crashing wave in the back. Like, come on, what?
That just looks so sick.
Yeah, that's a fighting stage.
Yeah. So yeah, the long exposures just look just as cool. But yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, let's get back to the SoCal Regional. We have one more event for that, and that is going to be the team tournament that we touched on earlier.
Oh yeah.
That is definitely something new. It's something that a lot of people have actually been kind of looking forward to because because it's just like a lot of other. Well, you mentioned TSL has a very similar format. Not similar, but a team format.
They have a tag team event.
And how does that work? How does the tag team event work? Do you know? I know Tony has competed in it.
Yeah, I'm not 100% in how it works mechanically, but I know that you're able to tag in and out whenever you feel like, for the most part.
Okay.
So it's like a wrestling match, kind of. It's just tag in when you want to. So it's fairly simple, but it's probably one of the best events that they have, in my opinion. So
from the footage I have seen, and I still don't understand how it works, but like from the footage I have seen, it also seems to be one of their most hyped tournaments or like rule sets.
Yeah, that could be. Alternatively, so ours is what I call sequential. It's a sequential team event. So it's you're fighting one at a time and you don't tag. You're just taking turns.
Right.
But like I mentioned earlier, I am optioning a tag team event in the future, but it'll be different. So as for this one now, I think we've got 6 teams so far in theory. We're still waiting for a few people to get themselves signed in here, but we've got what we call wings, and there's 6 of them so far, including Desert Wolf Wing, which is Rue and Allison. So I think we ought to ask Rue a couple questions about that. But we also have Nightwing, which is John Mullins and Dinah. Storm Synth, which is me and Phoebe, and Shark Carter waiting for her teammate to show up, and Muerte Wing with Steve waiting for his teammate to show up. And here's probably the one to talk about here, Reindeer Wing, which is Tony Zaldua, who's an A, and crate-based teammate Jeremy Lewis, who is a formidable fencer, but without a rating so far.
Have we seen Jeremy fight competitively yet?
Competitively, no, but I have experienced him.
Okay. Well, if you've experienced him, I would like to know. I think everybody would like to know. Maybe not necessarily insider information, but a little bit of. KR Fournier says, "Desert Wolf sounds so cool until you realize it's just a coyote." You're wrong, but I also hate that sounds right. But yeah, so yeah, can you give us a little insider on Jeremy? Because I know there's gonna be a lot of people who have never fought each other before within this list, but for me, he's a wild card.
Yeah, he's a big guy, but
we're losing you.
Am I coming
in? We cannot hear you.
Hello.
There we go.
Okay. All right, let me know if I drop out again.
Okay.
But Jeremy is a big guy, but moves well. Really good distancing. And so he has the basics down, the most important basics, and he's definitely a really solid pick for you, for Tony to grab. So that's not going to be an easy win at all.
That's okay. So a little bit of background on why some of these teams are the way they are. If you notice, we have all the ranks on the sides of their names too. I don't know. Can I? I can. There we go.
Yeah.
So there's some ranks here. Obviously, Cang has a question mark because he has never formally competed within the actual organization that he owns. So
not since we incorporated.
Yes, that's true. But the rules are for the team tournament. I believe it's down here a little bit. We are doing rules for the wing composition. The first one is it must consist of 2 members. Obviously, it's a 2-person event, 2-person team event. Your wing may not exceed a total power value of 7 points. Really quick, for those of you who have played like tabletop games like Warhammer or or like I think X-Wing does it too. Each character has a point value based off of how powerful they are, and you can't exceed that for your whole team. The way we're doing it now is an A ranker within the league is 6 points, a B is 5, C is 4, D is 3, E is 2, and an unranked is 1 point. There's a little bit of other rules on that, because unrankers don't necessarily mean that they're better or less than anybody. It just means they're just not ranked within the league. And in this case, Jeremy, who is Tony's partner, has never competitively made a showing, so he has no rank, which works for Tony because Tony is an A rank and he is only allowed to pick an unranked person as his teammate. So he's kind of bringing in this ringer that no one knows about, which is really to his advantage. But if you are unranked, but you have like placed in an international competition, a national competition, a regional competition, a local competition. So like if you are the champion of the Saber Legion, or a Taekwondo tournament finalist and a bunch of other stuff, we did assign essentially points to you as it is. But this is an open tournament, so anybody can join up. So we are seeing some really interesting mixes here. John with Dinah equals 7 points, a C and a D. Cang, we're giving you an A rank? What are we doing here?
I basically treated myself as if I'm an A. So
okay. I think
I went and grabbed a U.
I think you think too highly. No, I'm just kidding. I think I think you could have gotten away with a B, but having a U on your team is also good. You're also bringing in a ringer who has never formally competed within Lightspeed, so that'll be good to see. Shark Carter,
I can speak about her a little bit. I think she is she's a foilist.
Oh, okay.
And she was an assistant coach at her college in foil. So her distancing is really good. Her read is really good. It's been some work to acclimate her to Lightspeed Saber. She was doing a lot of stabbing before.
Yeah,
so
yeah. When you're in foil, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, she's taken master strides recently. It's funny because she comes to practice with a notebook and she writes things down, which is very cool. So yeah, she's been taken seriously, and it's been really cool.
Yeah, that's actually really awesome. And I think that's the beauty of this sport, is we're able to translate it from a lot of other weapons. Like we talked about Shark Harder earlier, and that they do Eskrima. So we don't know anything about her partner either. So that's going to be really interesting to have these people that are bits of wild cards within this team format. And the team format's going to be a lot of fun because there's a couple different strategies you can go into this. Steve Perez is still looking for his teammate.
How we're going to do this?
Let's finish through the roster real quick. Yeah, and then Steve Perez, we're also waiting on his secondary, as we mentioned, and then the infamous Tony Zaldua with his unranked partner ringer will definitely be interesting. They all so far are kind of meeting that whole maximum of 7 points for sure. Desert Wolf and Nightwing for sure. Storm Synth, obviously, because you're rating yourself like a 6-pointer. Steve is going to fight with Jose. Okay, so we just got to get Jose to sign in on here and then update that. So that is definitely also going to be a pretty good team as well. That maxes out the 7 points for them. And it's going to look like Char is going to pretty much be an unranked team, which is... I think that's one of the scariest things, is when you have two people who are unranked simply because they haven't had the opportunity to compete yet in an open format, because that's just a wild card at that point.
Definitely.
But yeah, go ahead. Let's go over how this works with the tournament.
Actually, can I before that though, can I ask Rue about the Coyote Wing? I mean, excuse me, Desert Wolf Wing. Like,
ouch.
How did this union form? After all, we're a few states away, so please tell us about that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, me and Ali kind of became friends at nationals. We were kind of like just chatting and everything, and I know during a couple of her matches, I would give her like pointers of like things I would notice her opponents doing, just because she is a bit of a newer fighter, and so I wanted to be, helpful to a degree. And so she actually messaged me and asked when we found out about the skirmish event if I wanted to team up with her, because she had just gotten her D rank. I was about to get my C rank at that point, so we were both D ranks. We would have been at like a 6 power value at that point.
Yeah.
So it would have just been really cool because she was already planning on showing up to the event anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely makes sense. Have y'all been able? Have y'all? Did y'all happen to meet in the ring at all?
I did not fight her during the actual tournament itself. I did fight. Did I? No, because she was in a different box. I did fight her just like during nationals as like a little sparring match, but we haven't had like a competitive like bout against each other yet.
Yeah. There was I do have footage of you two somewhere, like during off times practicing and sparring together. So they did indeed have like general ideas of how each other fight. So
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, the format. So I thought if it's just a 2-person sequential, then in theory it's only 4 matches. There's only 2 matches per person, which I thought was not enough. And also I wanted this, because we're pairing high and low, I wanted this to be an opportunity for teammates to help each other out and coach each other. So the way this is going to work is that there's actually going to be 6 matches for the 2v2. So the first phase will be the pool. So each person from each team will fight each person from the other team. So that's basic. So there's 4 matches there. Everyone gets 2. Then there's going to be a short break, and then after that there are 2 more matches, which will kind of end the match. Those 2 matches, each person gets 1 more match. Okay, and you decide the order that you're going in. So you decide. So if it's me and Phoebe, we are going to decide during the break period who's going to go first. Okay, and then you won't know who you're fighting until you walk in. So if it's me and John, if it's John and Dinah versus me and Phoebe, we're each going to fight each other, and then after the break, if me and Phoebe decide that I'm going first, I'm not going to know if it's Dinah or John when I walk in. And then you want to take that break period to organize your strategies depending on who you're going to end up facing and prepare your teammates. So that's the idea behind it. I want people to help each other. I want that to become more common. I want coaching and giving people information and the ability to be better. I want that to be more commonplace for us, because I believe that everyone has a lot of potential within them, but it can be hard to know what to do when you're in a first person position. You're staring down a blade. You don't know, you can't necessarily tell what they're doing, but someone from the side view, they can see something, and if that makes the fights better, and I think it does, then that's what I want to happen. So that's the logic behind what we're doing.
Definitely.
yeah, no, that sounds amazing because that the strategy of, hey, do we send out our good fighter out there and they clean up, is no longer this thing because you don't know who you're fighting. Like you can't, or like, do we send in our best fighter last and they make up the point difference, in the second half of the round. There's so many strategies you can have, like mentally, but the fact that you now have this blinder, puts this amazing like mystery guess of, it might be a make or break now at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think, if you don't mind, I'll answer a question here. Kevin is asking, will there be an opportunity for a little coaching between encounters? I mean, I think the team fencers are probably gonna have to ref themselves. They're probably gonna have to be refing themselves. But I mean, I don't see why not. Depending on how things run, I definitely I'm pretty sure there's going to be opportunity to drop a word here or there. So, otherwise, if there are other people reffing it, then then I have no problem having a coach in your corner at all. Uh, as long as the coach does not interfere with the match or anything like that. So. And in fact, if you all didn't know, in Olympic fencing, there are rules about coaching, actually, which I think I need to start adding in too. But you can't coach during the match in fencing, in Olympic fencing. And then you can coach during the break period, and you can only have a maximum of one coach. You can't have like a bunch of people up there giving you like slow-mo replays of different angles and stuff like that. You can only have one person up there coaching you at a time. So, and the reason I want to add those rules into our rule book is so that people know that it's an approved thing to do. So once you put rules on something, people understand. Okay, it's allowed. This is just how you're supposed to do it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's it's great to now have these different more than just one division of fighting, and then allowing coaching for some competitors, especially who are going to be competing in multiple divisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, because pre-pandemic, February 2020, we had just finished up at DreamHack, and we had 4 divisions. We had the cadet division, we had the women's division, we had a novice and advanced division. We were flying, we were flying at that time. So it's funny that we're just kind of barely crawling ourselves back to where we were, So, but I'm glad it's happening. So.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, to be honest. It's always fun to be able to show up, like, say, next year's national tournament, and being able to go, you know what, we're going to do some team battles too, or we're going to switch it up, because it's just, it keeps you guessing, and you also learn a little bit better when you have more than one thing going on competitively. I'm personally looking forward to Foam Sword.
Yeah.
I took a break from that a little bit. I wanted to discuss with our officers a little bit about it before we start to get back into it, but that'll be for another time.
Of course, yeah, and for those of you who don't know, I know we mentioned it a couple times. Foam Sword actually utilizes a foam sword. It's not completely different, but fairly different rule set. They're much smaller than the lightsabers we use. These work really well outdoors in the sunlight in the middle of the day, instead of lightsabers where you kind of have to wait for the lighting to be just right outdoors, or even indoors. The lighting has to still be just right to illuminate them properly. So, they're bladed weapons, so you can't just hit on any portion of that lightsaber. There's very specific rules on how a cut must land, and it's, for me, it was a lot of fun. I'm not just saying that because I won the first one. I'm just like, it was just a lot of fun because it was something different. So we can, obviously you said we're going to have a discussion about it, but we can talk about that a little bit later. But it was definitely one of those things where we go, hey, yeah, now we're adding some more stuff to do. Instead of just the lightsabers, which are fun, and obviously that's what gets us here. But we now have to learn different things to get good at other things, at like a new format, essentially. So, I don't know. Let's see what else do we have coming up? The Texas tournament. Texas tournament just started, didn't it?
I haven't seen the live stream go up yet, but I believe they'll be starting soon. Yeah, so we'll probably want to finish up before they start.
It looks like Star Temple is live on Instagram right now.
Star Temple. Okay. Let me get the.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
It looks like they've already started.
Okay, so they probably had issues with Twitch. So I believe if you
Makes
just
sense.
Let's see, Instagram.com/ Star Temple.
No, Starbird.
Oh,
I think it's Starbird Saber. Let me check here.
No Star Temple team. They're live right now. I don't know about
Oh, it's on.
Starbird.
Oh, it's on Star Temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that means Dakota probably got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were trying to do Starbird originally, but I guess they're in trouble.
Okay.
At Star
Kevin
Temple
said that
team.
they're on Starbird on Twitch.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we able to Twitch in a Twitch and commentate?
I mean, I think we can. Let me try and set that up right now. And see. There'll be so many delay issues. But that's fine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We've been at this. This has been a great. I feel like this has been a great discussion. But it's been 2.5 hours. I was about ready to break, but I'm curious about this.
Yeah. Let me. Oh
No,
gosh.
definitely.
Apparently I have to. That's weird. Apparently I have to log in. But yeah, they are live on the Instagram. For Star Temple team. So that's good if you want to tune into that. And then I think that's the Twitch. So I'm trying to get that up right now, but it's making me authenticate my logins. So
I mean, if nothing else, if we're gonna just like end the stream, we can always just raid them and just bring everyone over.
There's no rating on Twitch anymore, right?
Is there not?
I can't remember if they got rid of it. I know there's a big discussion on Twitch recently about that, but that is the plan. That is the plan to get something like that in. Let's see. Are they running on Twitch?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, perfect.
I'm watching it right now.
Okay, cool. Oh, I can hear it.
Huh? Who said hi?
That was
Yeah, here we go.
Posting it to news.
Table score. 5-2 Troy. Time 102. Again.
And that's Kat and Troy, I think.
Yes.
Great.
Ooh, look like an indirect. It is.
They'll block. Again.
Let's see. Can I do it this way and stream party it as well? That way we're on the same.
Great.
Okay.
1 point Cat. Indirect content.
So it looks like the raid command still is like a live feature.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Great.
That looks like Dakota reffing on the left, I think, maybe.
Looks like it.
And you always know Russ by his massive groin guard.
Yes.
Dude, like it's essentially a COD piece at this point, and it's
Yeah.
pretty iconic. So
It is. But it's also like not a bad idea.
oh no, 100%.
It's just so distinct. There's no effort at all to. There's no shame. There's no effort at all.
Oh, yeah.
I know this is gonna be a really
to
weird
make it-
question, but has someone seen him get hit in it yet?
Oh, I don't know.
Is he expecting some serious ref retaliation? I sure hope not.
He's competing, so potentially, yeah. It's like-
True.
Oh, I can hear this too.
The one I'm streaming on Discord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we got the winner on that one?
I was not paying attention. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, Cat 1.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, Texas. We talked about this briefly in the Discord channel, I believe. But as far as Texas goes, and I assume it's due to their fabulous coach Russ Mitchell over here. They have, oh my gosh, their little icon on Twitch is absolutely adorable, and I assume that's Kat's artwork right there.
Yeah. Is that person wearing elbow guards?
No.
It does not appear so.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to message
someone.
somebody
Yeah.
Oh no, the
Because-
horror.
Initial contact.
because I am Presidente and I cannot be seeing this.
Close your browser. Close your browser.
Right.
You know, the motorcycle jacket works pretty well though. I've seen a couple people use that now.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a gambeson at this point. Invisalign pads. That sounds like several different things out of context.
Yes.
All right, so what I'm going to do right now is I believe I'm going to try and raid their stream so we can just throw our whole group into their stream. And
Yes.
I can't remember the actual command. I'm pretty sure I know it, but okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Indirect contact. 1 point.
Let's see here. Monkey Havokin says, I used one for a bit. They're actually pretty legit, but can be insanely hot and not breathing to fight in them. That's fair too. I mean,
Yeah.
Gambeson's kind of too, but I feel like because they're made out of like cotton, those have a little bit more breathability. Whereas motorcycle jackets are like made to be windbreakers and like body heat. Like they holds body heat, so yeah, I could definitely understand like maybe dying a little bit when you're fighting in them instead of riding a bike. All right, so first off, I'd like to say thank you everybody for joining myself and Cang, and then thank you Rue for showing up for a
Yeah,
little
of
bit of chatter about how your out of state team managed to come together. Again, thanks to Kat Lerange, who is currently fighting at this Starbird Deck the Brawls tournament. We're gonna try and do this raid here. Thank you everyone in chat. I did mention in a couple places. I don't know if everybody saw it, but I am going to be giving away one of these to one of our it's a waifu cup to one of the viewers on the viewing list. So I'm just gonna like pick one right now and run a thing, and looks like KR Fournier is our winner. So I'm pretty sure that's Kevin. So I don't have to ship it to you.
Yeah.
I will
Makes
see
it a
you.
whole lot easier.
Yeah, I will see you next weekend. You get a free waifu cup. They're all limited editions, so this is the newest one to drop. It's one of my favorite ones simply because it has like the Lone Wolf colors on it, so that's always cool.
Yeah.
We'll
I have no idea what was just going on stream, but
get
it looks like they were having fun. So
well, this is Elias on the right versus Brennan. Oh shoot!
Oh wow!
Was that it?
Nice change.
What? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and throw the whole chat over. We're gonna raid. Oh. Yeah,
Looks
here we
kind
go.
of like a
Have
3,
a good one.
but
Cool.
And yeah, I'll see you guys over there in the chat.
Sounds good.
I need to break for a bit, so I can handle some business.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah,
I will. I'll try to be over there with you guys later.
All right, man. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yo, these guys are rallying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Elias is probably one of their better ralliers. Brennan gets there pretty well too with him, just from seeing their practice stuff. So.
Yeah, no, Brendan's doing a good job.